Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Humanity. Today, we are going to touch a subject regarding the survival of the human race or mankind. And with that, we are going to look at what are the investments that you present generations of men and women have you made as inheritance for the future generations, because we are basing this on the 11th centuries that was so stagnant that men and women spend 365 days of the year of the 11th centuries investing in very deadly projects, very, very destructive projects that include investment in weapons, which is still the mankind, men and women today in the present generation think that the best investment is to invest in weapons. My people, that is a very, very wrong, very, very wrong ideology, and it's one of the things that has kind of brought about questions arising from your mother planet Earth. She asks, Mother planet Earth asks, men and women of present generation, what kind of life do you want on this planet? Because those before you, men and women who lived before you in generations that, because they've been great civilizations. There are civilizations that are known to men, and there are civilizations that are not known to men. However, we will not go to that whatever. But what I'm trying to the question I did ask is that you, the present generations, what investments have you made as an inheritance for the future generations? Because if you are to go into every government on this planet, every government, let it be the guy, American, and America, I think they are the worst investors. The worst investors in when it comes to because I usually never talk about anything else other than life. The worst investor on this planet in life are Americans, followed by Europeans. For this too, they have institutions like NATO, institutions like NASA, health institutions, what you call health institutions. But if you are to look at these institutions, they are all 99% of those what you do in accounts, what you would look at as they are liabilities, inherited liabilities of the what you call the 11th centuries of a very stagnant, very dirty, whatever when it comes to investing in life and prioritizing the beauty to life. My people, there is nothing equal to life so long as you have a breath, or you can breathe air in your chest and say, I'm living. But so long as you turn around that either the education you dish out is an investment, but it's a liability to your own life as well as to the lives of those who are kind of studying to become future or to invest in the future whatever. If your intention is to invest in liabilities, very deadly, destructive liabilities, then I think if I said that the Americans, Europeans, and the entire world, for the exception of a country like China, but the rest of the world, every single investment that goes into what you call investment, because when you are investing, you don't invest for whatever, you invest for your future generations. But if you spend those a year in time when we speak of 365 days of the year, that is when you count the rotation cycle of planet Earth around the sun. But all these days in some government institutions, 80%, if not 90% of their time is spent on strategies that are very, very deadly, very strangling to every structure of life on this planet. Because life is a religion. And that most beautiful, holy religion is Islam. I want to open up men's brains and minds that you men who go into accounts and say, I'm a chartered accountant, whatever, official, I'm an internal auditor, this and that. When you do internal audit, you have to look, if you are a proper internal auditor, you look at what are, let's say, okay, let's move the internal auditor of any government or whatever, or what you call auditors, or we are curriculum, work out how much. Let's look at men who lay strategies for future budgeting and what have you. When you look at your investments, are you men who are really qualified to do any sort of investment? Because the curriculum directs every child on this planet, in most countries in the world on this planet, that you will be either an engineer, you be a doctor, you be a descendant. The other side of agriculture is the sector in which men depend on to be able to be living human beings. For instance, being a farmer, agriculture, studying all this irrigation and what have you. That part of investment is always denied any chance to be mentioned within the planning committees of every government on this planet. That's why there are no trees. That's why there is global warming. That's why there is excavation and whatever what you call it. Men wake up every day and say they start mining things that they opening up this planet into putting scars that are very deadly. If you are to be hovering over the planet Earth, every 30 miles you find that the men have opened up a wound on Mother Planet Earth. A wound, what are they looking for? Either gold or tin or minerals. They're saying we are looking for minerals. Huh? So there is no any time given to investment in Mother Nature to reproduce, to be able to support, because Mother Nature, her duty has always remained to look after human beings. Otherwise, if she had said completely there's no more food on this planet, you find that there's no one, because it was mentioned that there should be no food in some countries. There should be no food produced in such countries. Which countries which is spending most of their investments either in weapons or in opposition to the truth that guides men, that makes men to live alone, to live in harmony. Because the worst thing is that I don't know whether you'll be feeling the beauty of peace and harmony if you haven't eaten for 40 days, or let's say 5 days. You haven't had anything to put in your stomach. You haven't had a bottle of water to put to drink, to quench your thirst. I don't think that will be harmony. But Mother Nature and Allah has always provided this for human beings. But those resources are always given very little priority, and men, they embark on a race. They say, we are fighting anybody who say our way of life here. Many man who stands out and say, I tell you, human beings, investment in his weapons, investment in the theologies that desecrates every structure of beauty of life, or of your own lives. Because when I speak of Islam, I'm trying to paint a picture that men and women can wake up from the shisha of foolishness, the sheath of madness, sickness, and foolishness. That's why I always shout Islam, Islam, because this is what is interpreted. This is what is explained every leaf on a tree, every stem of a plant, no man has ever, if you are to become all of you sick on this planet, you cannot go and say we will take the medicine from outer space, as that man called, that man who takes people to whatever. That man, is it, what is his name? The boy who is shipping boys, men and women to whatever, to outer space. One day, when they get there, sometimes they're stuck. He can't even, they call it Elon Musk. He will tell you that we even you ask one of those astronauts, ask them, have you ever got any type of medicine, a tablet that comes from outer space, and you bring it to our planet and say, we're going to feed it to anyone in the hospital or give it to our people? Elon Musk, he ships people every day. But what does that a program like that do to the rest of the human race? And at any given time, how many men and women can get in one ship, what you call ships or rockets that fly from this planet to outer space, the near space, not outer space, near space here. So with that, when we hear me shouting, my people, you are a people strangling yourself through the curriculums, through the economic strategies, because one of the strategies in your economic planning is that nothing, agriculture and the investment in knowing who you are is always thrown out of the window. You are gamblers. Men wake up every day and say, we are at war. We are at war with He who created us. No, you are at war with yourselves. You are at war, strangling your own children, strangling your own mothers, strangling your own self. When you say you are fighting, because when the reason I think in one of the videos, I did tell you, human being, that Islam, when you say Islam, it's as if you are saying life. Islam is the other interpretation, the other whatever, in a language that is kind of clear that human beings is life. Islam is life. Or Islam, and then if you are to make it, you put an equal sign. It's Islam, life. Life is a religion. And that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. That is whereby either you are 7 years old, whether you are 10 years old, whether you are 50 years old, you are able to be living because of the word life. You have life in your body. And that's that most beautiful life in your body right now, whether it's 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or 50 years. That emotion, that feeling that you feel that you are living, that most beautiful part of you that has life in it is what we call the most holy, beautiful religion, Islam. When you turn around and say, our investment, all my investment is to go to oppose what is in the life in yourself, my people, that's when I say you are strangling yourself, you are killing yourself, you are destroying your existence. Because we started this looking at what do we ask the question, what have you as present generations, have you put on aside as an investment for future generation, which you call your children? Maybe some of you are in their 20s. Let's talk about men who are in their 20s. maybe who might be having a child, a little girl or a little boy, 2-3 months, 2-3 months old, up to 5 years old. What do you have on the side? Is it a gambling cartel that you wake up and say, I have to work out how we fight the region Islam? The terminology religion, if you are to go and examine it properly, for me, I've tried to put it in a clear whatever language without any sweeteners, without any additives, artificial additives, which means life is a religion. And that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. If you turn around and say, you are fighting that life in you right now, the life you feel inside you, my people, you are destroying yourself without any question. You are destroying every structure, every whatever that Allah wakes you up and say, this is a new day. Try to understand that you as living human being, you cannot fight Allah who puts everything on the table and say, and most many Allah puts everything on the table and say, he is life. And most of you, they say, I prefer to go to war. I prefer to go to war. With what? With your own lives. You as living human beings who are given a chance to plan for your future, to plan for the future of your children. But you say, we spend 365 days of the year, our capital investment $7 trillion, or 20 or 18 or 80 trillion dollars, they are going to weapons. They are going to what? In weapons. Or they are going in outer space programs, NASA, or NATO. Now, when we talk of NATO, we are talking of weapons, nothing else. So with that, can't you see that when I tell you, the last 15, 11 centuries, kind of they chopped up a big chunk of your brains, and you were all thrown into the sink, the what you call a septic tank. And when they threw your brain a bit, the largest part of your brain into the septic tank, someone closes it and says, let whatever gas that comes out of the septic tank, let whatever filth that comes out of the septic tank be swallowed by those in the septic tank. Because your brains are in the septic tank. That's when I say, you are wallowed, you are drunk in foolishness. Men and women who wakes up every day, the first thing they think of in the first 30 minutes after they wake up, what am I going to put in my stomach? Then I ask, have you trained? Have you put forward investment in agriculture, irrigation agriculture? Have you put that aside? Have you put enough investment in agriculture? So that have you put enough investment in the environment, planting trees? My people, have you put enough investment in planting trees? Or every child that goes through a nursery school, as soon as she starts the ABCD, they say, you'll be an engineer. What engineer? A nuclear, whatever, technician engineer who produces weapons. So I wanted to wake up men and say, look here, he who created you is the one who provides things for you to be able to wake up and say, hey, when you wake up, foolishly enough, as I said, men and women and whatever who are locked up in a septic tank cannot think. Because they wake up and the first thing they know is that I'm going to war. But war with who? With he who provided the rain, who used to provide the rain, who used to provide the whatever, the fruits, and who looked after our ancestors. Because if you're to look at the last, let's say the last 5, we will call it 30 years, the last 50 years, all major investments have been in total war. Not against, because I told you, me, I'm an alien, I'll tell you that straightforward. I'm an alien. I'm an alien, and I'm the first alien who have ever mentioned that I am an alien. But an alien who is friendly to human beings, who would like to guide them, because that's what we've done over the millennia. We went to China, we taught the Chinese how to write, how to read, how to identify themselves, to identify the objects with all my characters that makes up my name. They're all the symbols that makes up what you call the alphabet of the Chinese or whatever. Yeah? Chinese children and whatever. The same applies here in Europe. But then you went out of your head and you said, we prefer our own way. Your own way, which has been very stagnant, you conjectured a way which you cannot support. Because if you are to invest in weapons, have you created human beings that these weapons are going to destroy? Do you provide the food to these creations whom we call human beings? That your investment, $80 trillion in weapons. What have you put aside? Because when you manufacture a gun, you've got to give it what it will eat. I know I'll take you to war if I want to. I'll say, have you been kind of drunk enough in foolishness? I'll show you how dirty these wars are. I don't know how long New York City has been standing, or California, whatever. And I say, can I take you to war and show you how dirty these things are? How your ideologies of nuclear weapons are, and how useless they are to you. Because they cannot make anything for your children. That's why I said, what have you put aside as an investment for your 5-year little boy in the future? So with that, my people, I'll remind you that you are all living Muslims. If you look at a forest, what we call a forest, each member of a forest, if you look at a forest like the Amazon, now it has been kind of ripped up apart here and there. But each member or each community member of that forest, what you call Amazon rainforest, is a Muslim. He's an investor, not to themselves, but human beings. So that if he doesn't, he can produce what we call that thing that which helps to reduce the green gases. Then in return, we ask you as human beings, what is your part? What is your contribution to the investment in the environment? Is it ripping up the Amazon? Breaking up every structure of environmental, whatever that you open up wounds. When you look at mines, we call them wounds because none of you can tell me that last night I ate 5 kilos of gold mined. That's what I had for dinner. Huh? Because I told you, there's edible gold. Edible gold is when you have what you call a fruit grown organic, and it contains the sweetness. It contains all the beauty that Allah can provide in an edible gold fruit. A mango, an orange, or a pawpaw, you name it, pineapples. Not in a bracelet that you put on your arm. And sometimes they are magnetic, whatever, that can affect your body because you don't know your bodies. Some bodies are not allowed to put on any kind of metal, whatever, on themselves because that will allow whatever that comes out of whatever to close some of your veins, and you find yourself, you go to the doctor and say, I don't feel very well, or my blood pressure is going down, but it's because of the bracelet, which you think you are wearing. I have a very expensive bracelet here. It cost me $1 million. How do you know what is it in? What is inside? The electrical dynamic gravity, whatever it is in that bracelet. Is it compatible with your body? Is it compatible with your heart? Is it compatible with any part of you? So with that, I will not go any further than that because I'm always limited with time. And I'm not given any chance to do these programs today, whatever, because all my whatever are being destroyed, my equipment. People attack me here and there from every angle, and I end up having no my equipment left, except to hand over to hand every one of you human beings to those who do better job. Because if you invest, you as human beings, you invest in death or hunting. You say you are hunting disease, you are fighting death. I don't know if any one of you can do that, because death or Malaika was there before any one of the living creation was there. If you go out of your head and say, we are intelligent, my people, my children, human beings, do not ever go out of your head and say we are fighting life, because life, if you look at examine the human body, you don't know what you are. We know. We know. If I tell you stop investing in weapons and stop saying we are fighting this and that, no. You are destroying yourself as human beings. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.